beautiful. Hello, hello. Welcome everybody to 1111 True Crime. We are an interactive, which means we have a live audience, true crime chat. Today we're talking about Jay Slater case. Tomorrow we're going to be talking about the Delphi case. First week of trials over. They're starting the second week. And I've had a chance to catch my breath and I want to jump back in to the Delphi case. I was big into the Delphi case, never left it, but I went to the Moly High Bridge. I got footage of it long time ago and went to the local atmosphere, took everybody live with me there. And now they found a hair. Well, they found a hair in the beginning, but now we're starting trial. They're thinking they should test the hair. Oh my God. So that'll be tomorrow. But today, I'm all like, how did Rachel just teleport right over to that little hut, in the new Warren Slater video? So Warren is Jay's dad. Jay went missing in Tenerife, if you're not familiar, if you're just jumping in. And after a 3-day rape, his dad, Warren, is on this search looking for Jay when they come across this hut. Now, we all kind of saw this if you were following the case in the beginning. We saw a little of this footage, but there was so many beeps and whistles and distractions, we didn't have time to digest it. Well, Warren Slater himself, who is Jay's dad, has only put out a few TikToks, and he has confirmed it is his account. Now, one of the videos that I recall that has somebody familiar to the case, it's not Lucy or Brandon or Ahab. No, it's Brad. And I have a little clip that actually was covered by Wax Unfiltered, but he knows his shoes. So I'm going to play that. And I think that the other thing I found strange is the other person that Warren has released one of the videos on is Rachel, Brad's mom. And it says something in itself that those are two main people he's focusing on. And I got to thinking, even if this was a premeditated incident or if this was an accident, either way, no one that was involved or aware had any clue this was going to become you and me and the entire world's obsession in trying to find out what happened to Jay. So think about the whole huge picture of Tenerife. You already have a place that a lot of mysterious disappearances and demises happen, from burned tied up into tunnels, to be losing hands and arms and legs and found out here with a bag over your head. These are all just in the last year or so. We're still missing the woman's husband in the case. You have bodies appearing in surrounding areas, countries, Morocco, where we're like, well, that's not that far away. It's just a hot spot. We have a culture in Tenerife that suggests there's this underlying war of crime and poverty versus the rich and entitled. That's what this boils down to from my point of view. But keep in mind, everything is only my opinion, and I will be sharing other people's opinion that I may or may not agree with. But from my perspective, we've heard, and I've done enough research, and I believe you have too, to realize that this little hut that Jay's dad has stumbled upon may well be a worker's living condition. I mean, it's not unheard of. In the beginning of the case, I talked about the tunnels. I talked about the people living in the caves, and everybody, except for a handful, ran away laughing at me. Now they're like, holy shit, it's true. Yes, it's true. So the workers are getting into situations that they cannot get out of. And then they're kind of, in a sense, subject, if you will, to their environment. And in that, how can I put this strongly? They bend to the will of the higher powers. And there becomes a king of the land, and there becomes a monarch, a monopoly of control. And if you have been watching Duncan Smith over on his channel, he's breaking down how high up this could go, right? All the mayors and all this kind of stuff. Who knows? But when you break it down, Papagayo is the last place Jay was, and it is in direct control of the authorities, right? Of the mayor and rule setters, and we have nothing that puts Jay outside of there. But today, I kind of thought we would look and see one more time about this tea. It sounds so simple, but it's so out of place out in the middle of a volcanic island in a hut, and it's not normal for there to be this huge amount of tea. And yet the UK is known for tea, and there's a large amount of water. And is it a telltale sign, or is it just somebody coincidentally stocking up stuff? Now keep in mind, if we're following the narrative that's being sold to us by those that just simply want the case to disappear, and I don't know why they're being bothered by anybody still talking about it. Why haven't they moved on to a new case if that's their new thing? Keep in mind, none of the people were searching for missing people before this case, right? They just jumped in, and all of a sudden they're a main part, and they show up in people's chat after the boy's been found gone. It's just strange. So what's the big to-do? The big ado? What is it? Why is it drawing all the little hornets out of their little nest? And they're all like a little frenzy trying to obscure the narrative. They're like bzzz, all over. Well, that's only fueling the flames, right? And the little honey pot in this is it reveals a sweet bit of truth that we don't have the truth yet. And I'm going to continue to say it every time I talk about Jay Slater. And that is that Rachel herself says the truth will come out when it's meant to. Mark Williams Thomas says the truth will come out when the time is right. And Chris T says the truth will come out when it's supposed to. So we haven't heard the truth. And in not hearing the truth, we have to take what we've got, which isn't a lot, and backtrack. And we have to look at these things now that we don't have a billion little hornets in our face, and we can just take a breath and listen to what Warren is saying. And listen how quickly, number one, that she gets, and I'm just saying she because I'm being legally cautious here, how she gets over to this little hut like, boom. And the surprise in Warren's voice. Like she just showed up there. Pop, right here I am. and how'd you know how to get there? And then the suggestion that this is where people could be held. Someone could be held and transported, and they're getting closer to the ravine. Why would you think that if there's a 500-foot drop right there and you can't go any further? Where are they transporting the people to? I didn't get that part. So I just had a lot on my mind with the Jay Slater case. I started the channel to be able to express my concerns and hear yours. And with that, I'm going to